What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video where today, AK Chili Willy, a legend of the channel who submits us awesome battles all the time, he has sent us in Shadow Alolan Marowak running Hex, Shadow Bone, and Fire Blast. Traditionally, Marowak will run Fire Spin, Bone Club, and Shadow Bone, but having Hex for faster energy generation and a hard-hitting Fire Blast, which is going to decimate opposing Pokemon. Let's see how this team performs. He's got a triple Shadow squad rolling, and we'll see how this team performs. Shadow Feraligatr we know is so strong. Shadow Bastiodon, I personally think that regular Bastiodon is even stronger than Shadow, but Shadow is a little bit more fun since we don't see it as often. And then, of course, the Shadow Marowak in back. Oh my gosh, the whole team is good against Talonflame. He's going to stay in to chip the Serperior. I don't know if I love this. I feel like you want to just go straight whack, but he gets the debuffs. That's pretty nice. And Marowak, this is where Hex is actually going to be less good than Fire Spin. Fire Spin would be more beneficial here for that oppressive fast move damage. He's going to go for the Shadow Bone, but not before another Aerial Ace. Remember, Serperior is very spammy to these Aerial Aces. So this matchup, not quite as dominant without Fire Spin. Throws after 2 Hexes. Would have liked to see maybe after 1 for better timing, but is still going to get the farm down nonetheless. Nicely done. In comes the Talonflame. I don't think Marowak is going to reach 2 Shadow Bones, but honestly, that is perfectly fine. You have a Bastiodon waiting. Could have even gone for maybe a snipe here with the Bastiodon. I think you just come in with it because you can absorb the move. Oh my gosh, the opponent. ABA weak to the Bastiodon. Rise, what does that opponent do against the Bastiodon lead? I don't know, Carl. I have no idea. I've been seeing a lot of those teams lately. Teams that just like they just instantly lose to certain leads because they're super ABA weak to certain leads. Here we go. Astro Adventurer, the next opponent. Interesting lead. Doesn't have access to Ice Beam, but the opponent doesn't know that. The opponent doesn't know that. I would have liked to see maybe one more Shadow Claw to at least threaten the Ice Beam, but maybe the opponent doesn't know their counts. They do know their counts. But here's the thing. We talked about in the first matchup, having Fire Spin would be less or would be more beneficial. In this matchup, having Hex is going to be more beneficial because you can charge up energy faster to these Shadow Bones. And it looks like Marowak will reach a second Shadow Bone if Altaria tries to farm down here. Going for that Shadow Bone and gets it off. And this is big because if this forces the final shield, you can just come in with Bastiodon and soak up all this energy. Up 2 shields, and we know Feraligatr is so devastating with a shield advantage right now. So spammy to those Hydro Cannons. Altaria's throwing energy. I got to assume this might not be the play depending on their back line. They might be better off having saved this energy for later. But let's see if they have Basti coverage. They have a Machamp. That's not good. And a Lanturn. Okay, the opponent knew what they were doing. The opponent knew what they were doing. They knew all they needed was to keep alignment, and they were chilling. So going down 2 shields, usually not the play, but in this scenario, it is most definitely the play. Because as long as you keep Medi on Basti and Lanturn on Feraligatr, you should be in a great spot. We're going to see Chili Willy play this out, but this looks like it is not going to be a win. And, you know, if he had maybe just played this a little bit differently, well, I guess the Lanturn would have been a problem. Because he's ABA weak to Lanturn himself. I was going to say, if he just sacked the Feraligatr in the lead, farm down with Basti, maybe Marowak could put in some work, but the Lanturn would have been really tough to overcome still. Going for the Flamethrower. Just gauging how much it does if 2 could potentially KO, but not quite. And a GG. Tough one there for Willy. Next battle, here we go. What's the lead going to be? Cresselia. Not the worst lead, but you are threatened by the Grass Knot, so I wonder if we see a pivot here at some point. Maybe, okay, gonna CMP on the potential Grass Knot here. Crunch grabs a shield. No debuff this time. I feel like you want to respect the Grass Knot and maybe catch the next one on Marowak. Because you've got 2 better answers. And that's exactly what Willy does. Beautiful catch onto the Shadow AWAC. Grass Knot going to be resisted. Oh my gosh, in comes Wiggly. That was a risky play by the opponent, but little do they know. Little do they know, did the Hex give away that it's running Fire Blast, or will this connect on the Wiggly? Oh my gosh. Nearly one-shots the Wiggles. Are we going to see a shield come up here? We are not. But Marowak able to live the Icy Wind. Does Cresselia come back? It does. And Marowak just barely doesn't get there. You want to come in right away with Basti. So we see Willy waiting out the switch timer. They're still switch locked. Oh, I don't know if I love this play. Using the energy here, I feel like you have the Cresselia walled on with Basti. You just do that. But maybe he sees something I don't. Goes for the catch. Nicely done. But now you're switch locked against whatever the back Pokemon is. And it's a Victory Bell. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. This worked out. Nice read by Willy. Somehow guessed that the classic Cresselia Wigglytuff core has a Victory Bell. I guess fast move pressure in the back. And should be in a very comfortable spot here. Can really do whatever he wants. Can probably tank a move on Basti. But could also shield if he feels like it. Grass Knot. Crazy. Even the Shadow Basti takes that so well. And a Stone Edge coming through. Going to no bubble. Why press the bubbles when Cresselia is at like 4 HP? And gets the knockout here with Mr. Bastiodon. G to the G. Also, look at that cool little animation in the team graphic with Shadow AWAC. Doing his little spinny. Reminds me of like in karate. People with their nunchucks and stuff. Those are always super impressive. Next opponent. What do they got for us? Skelly. Great lead. All three Pokemon are either good or neutral against this. In comes Whiscash, and this is really good because the backline has to avoid Whiscash. So him swapping in, Willy makes the right play. Sometimes people panic, right? And they think, oh, he swaps, I need to swap too. No, absolutely not. You just stay in here. You play this out. You should win because you're ahead of Shadow Claw. If this was even energy, Whiscash might be able to flip this, but even energy for Alligator should be chilling. Now that you've done so much damage, yeah, I think either makes sense. Could let it go or invest the shield. Gets the farm. Oh, doesn't quite get the farms. That's a little bit unfortunate. Going to go down a shield, but should get the shield back potentially. I don't love this decision. Kind of risky, but it works out. It works out because you don't know. It could have been like double Mud Boy for all you know. But I guess maybe you would still swap out anyway. I don't know. Now Skeledirge. Oh, Skeledirge gets greedy. Farms up too much. Maybe they didn't realize it was Hex. Shadow Bone knocks out the Skelly. And this opponent is not even going to stick around to see the Bastiodon in the back. That would have been a bummer for them if they played it out thinking they still had a chance. All right, here we go. Who is up next? The Triple Shadow team starting to gain some momentum. For Alligator into Cresselia again. We saw Willy play out the ones last time. Let's see if he plays it the same way this time or if he plays it any different. Playing it the same so far. Going for the crunch. This is going to threaten super effective damage to the Cresselia and grabs the first Protect Shield. Cresselia on the charge attack priority. Going to fire off a Grass Knot against for Alligator. It's a very threatening move. And is going to grab a shield. Here we go. Plays it the exact same way. Opponents throwing their moves right away. Makes it easy for the catch. Grass Knot is caught onto the Shadow AWAC. And we're actually going to see the opponent stay in. Very questionable decision by them if they have a better answer. Shadow Bone grabs the final shield. And then they go Talonflame. See, I would have liked to see the opponent swap earlier rather than stay in for so long and have to use their next shield. But at least now the opponent can take one and they throw. Oh, they get greedy again. These opponents are getting so greedy. And this is why it's important to know your counts and your energy. Talonflame didn't get off any energy there, and it was almost at 2 flies. Marowak finally gonna go down here, assuming he lets this go. And Basti probably comes in. Or maybe he goes in for Alligator, because that way you could overfarm. Okay, gonna come in Basti, knows he can take the energy here. And we've yet to see the back Pokemon. What's it going to be? Oh, it's a Machamp. Get out, get out. Willy, what are we doing? Willy, why are we staying? Gives Machamp like 5 free counters on Basti, but then fires the Hydro. And that is a G to the G. Hydro Cannon doing so much to that Machamp. from the Shadow Feraligatr. We posted a Shadow Machamp video not too long ago and had a lot of fun running that with the buffed move Cross Chop. Very strong. Next opponent is named the Box Sloth. In my Discord, we started a new channel dedicated to the best in-game names that we're seeing. Box Sloth, that's a funny one. Ooh, okay. Not sure how I feel about this decision. I feel like you'd rather just swap Basti instantly if you're going to swap Basti. By giving Dugong this head start, you're going to have to go down shields to retain swap. So let's see what he decides to do. And now he gets baited, right? So a bit unfortunate. Going to have to throw this Stone Edge. There you go. Throws it right before the next drill run. Stone Edge coming through will threaten to knock out Dugong, and they do let it go down. Now, this is a little scary. You're giving a potential massive farm down for the Whiscash. If I'm the opponent, I am 100% mud-shotting down this entire Bastiodon. I am not throwing energy. I like the play from Willy. That farm down would be pretty brutal, so he combo plays. The problem here is if Whiscash swaps out, luckily they're throwing energy here. This is good, but if they swap out, this could be really tough to deal with later on in the game. And they're firing off double Mud Bomb. Going to be forced to use the final Protect Shield. This Whiscash really threatening to sweep the entire team right now. In comes another Hydro Cannon. That looked like it might have been a Charge Attack priority. Hydro Cannon grabs the final shield. It wasn't a Charge Attack priority, but Whiscash is going to knock out Feraligatr with Mud Bomb. Here's the thing. Hexes plus Shadow Bone should knock out. So as long as it's something in back that maybe you're really strong against with Marowak, and it is, and they make a mistake of swapping. Wait, what do you do here? Brave Bird might threaten to knock out. This might still be a bad spot. Brave Bird does so much damage, but it also debuffs the defense mightily here. So you throw a Shadow Bone, maybe you swap. Oh, has the Shadow Bone loaded, then you swap Basti. Maybe you get a smackdown or two before you get farmed down. Bastiodon gets the farm down. And against all odds, able to win the game. Oh my goodness. I think if the opponent had just stayed in with the cash instead of blind swapping the Skarm, they would have been in a good spot. But sometimes you try to make a read and it doesn't pay off. I've been there many times. I'm sure you guys watching this video have made mistakes in the Go Battle League. It happens to us all. Tough lead, so going to safe swap the Marowak met by Feraligatr. At least he's able to get to the Shadow Bone first, so we might be able to pull some sort of advantage here. Oh, connects! Now you just flip switch. Knight, you invest 2 shields if you need to. You invest 2 shields if you need to because you're going to align your Basti. Oh, you only had to invest 1 shield. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, they come back in with Charger Bug. What is going on? What is going on? Shadow Bone grabs a shield. Yo, dude, this Marowak is putting on a clinic. Move coming through from the Charge Bug. X-Scissor does knock out despite being double resisted from that range. Now you come in with Basti. What's in the back? Annihilate. Not that bad. The scary thing here, though, is if they're running Night Slash, they're going to be able to get to the second move first. If they're running Ice Punch, you might be chilling. But if this is Night Slash, they're running Ice Punch. That is massive. And the opponent knows it's over. Tough break. If they were running Night Slash, they might have still been able to win that game. But that's how it goes. Sometimes your movesets will find you in a better situation, sometimes in a worse. We've seen that with the Marowak this video, right? With the Fire Spin versus Hex. Terrific lead for this team. All 3 Pokemon are pretty good against Talonflame, so probably one of the best leads he could see. Going for the crunch here. I mean, I would personally like to see just the immediate swap into Marowak. Like, I feel like you have such a good answer in Marowak. You're better off just swapping it right away and getting a big advantage. But maybe... And yeah, see, now that they have Rock Slide, right? Now that you gave them such a big head start, makes it a little bit less comfortable. This is a CMP, so they can force a shield back from you if they want. But they're going to let it go. And the opponent's down a shield, so still a really dominant position, to be honest, for Willy here. I'm just talking about like things that could have been played differently, but he's doing very well. He's in a really dominant position here. I like the play from the opponent here, recognizing they can farm down, but Basti's going to sneak us. Oh, and they tried to do another Incinerate. Or maybe they waited a little too long. Maybe they waited to see the typing, and they waited just a second too long, and then didn't get off any of the energy. So, tough break for them. Next battle, Ben Merrick is the opponent. There was a character named Merrick in Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day, I'm pretty sure. I just brought back a memory. Shadow Sableye, very cool pick. I'm building a Shadow Sableye right now, by the way. I think it's really solid Pokemon that would be fun to play. Hydro Cannon going to fire off here. This Sableye getting a little bit greedy right there. You don't want to build up so much where you let the opponent throw both moves before you throw a single move, usually. So just content taking the 2 shield advantage. You're going to let the Feraligatr go down. Come in with Basti, who can tank these foul plays. Sableye's going to get to at least 2 foul plays here, so this will start to chunk away at the Bastiodon. You see these foul plays are hidden pretty hard from Sableye. This will put Bastiodon into the red, and then Bastiodon will farm down. Oh, quick swap into Marowak. Yikes, though. Met by Azu. I don't think Shadowbone is able to 2-shot the Azumarill here. We'll see. Maybe needs a debuff here. Gets the debuff. That is massive. This may allow Marowak to farm down after the next Shadowbone. Shadowbone going to connect. And only... Oh, it's actually charged attack party. I think only needs to commit 1 shield here prior to hexing down. And this is going to be pretty crazy. That Sableye is still lurking. Oh, it's Lickitung. Needs to land the Fire Blast, but doesn't get there. Doesn't get to the Fire Blast. And unfortunately, Bastiodon is just going to be too slow, I believe, to close out this game. Would need at least 2 Stone Edges and is not going to get there. Maybe the opponent goes for like an unnecessary catch. No, they just stay in. They recognize they've got this one in the bag. And they're going to Power Whip for the KO-G to the G. So close to that Fire Blast, which I think would have been game-winning. But also the opponent would have had the opportunity to make the catch if they did reach the Fire Blast. So maybe they would have done that anyway. Next opponent, Feraligatr into Hakamo'o. Positive for Hakamo'o, I would think, just because the Dragon Tails are a little bit more oppressive. You don't really have a threatening charge move here, so just going straight for the Hydro. Not even going to bother baiting the Ice Beam here. And the opponent recognizes that, so they're going to take it on the chin. Hakamo building up energy. Hopefully they don't Brick Break bait here. That just seems like a unnecessary bait. Okay, Dragon Claw connects. Shadowbone caught, but it's on a Feraligatr. This is still going to hurt the Feraligatr, as we saw earlier. Does a lot of damage. This is a non-shadow, but a shiny. So does get to another Shadowbone. Now the Feraligatr should shield this to preserve all this energy they've farmed up. But your own Feraligatr should be able to absorb any move here. 2 moves would knock out, but should survive any 1 move thrown by the opposing Feraligatr here. And it is the Hydro Cannon. Oh, wow. That did a lot. Simul KO, and now it's all up to Bastiodon. What is the third Pokemon going to be? We know Hakamo is trouble here. I think you got to shield the Brick Break here. It's double super effective. Does Hakamo get to another Brick Break? I think it does. It does not. That's massive. And apparently, whatever was in the back did not want to see Bastiodon, which makes sense, right? They had 2 Pokemon really strong against Basti. So the third Pokemon likely was weak to it. Maybe they were double. Maybe it was a Mantine. That's my guess, because, well, if it was Mantine, maybe they would have gone Mantine into Marowak. I don't know. Interesting lead here. I would say this is favorable for Feraligatr because you resist the Steel Wing damage. You also have the neutral hitting Crunch here, and the Shadow Claws are chunking. You also outpace the Empoleon. Goes for a bold catch. Yikes, dude. This is a very bold catch. Oh, somehow caught. Somehow caught. The opponent was a little slow to react. Now this should be a Hydro. Maybe use Shield. I mean, this might be their best Basti answer. Shields the Hydro. In comes Trev. This is not bad at all for Basti. Going for the Stone Edge. Obviously, Flamethrower is like the better play here, but probably just assumes they're going to shield anyway. And now we're going to see Trev build up. Eventually, probably go for a Shadow Ball since 1 shield has already been committed. Shadow Ball does some sizable damage. We're going to see Bastiodon farming down. Another move coming through from the Trevenant. Seed Bomb should threaten to knock out here. And now what do? Do you come in with Feraligatr for more oppressive fast move damage? I think that might be the play. Yeah, going to come in with Feraligatr, and there's a Cresselia in the back. Always likes to throw moves before dipping out, which I don't mind, but I feel like when you have such a dominant matchup with your Marowak, like, you just come in with Marowak, but yeah, this is totally fine. and gets the win. I think that was a very convincing battle and a very convincing win to end the video here. Shout out to AK Chili Willy for another fun submission featuring Shadow Alolan Marowak, as Ionic calls it, the GOAT, one of his favorite Pokemon, or maybe his favorite Pokemon on this triple Shadow team. Hex, Shadowbone, Fire Blast. And we got to see that one Fire Blast land against the Wigglytuff. That was pretty satisfying, seeing the Fire Blast connect, and they actually hexed down the normal type Wigglytuff. Very fun. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new for more content, and comment down below. All comments are appreciated from y'all. All that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.